just thought. Marley, what? Why don't I connect the passenger side power to the driver's side power for the side light? Hey, as well, and I wonder if Alad's Polo hazard switch would fit on Edna. So I couldn't sit still. Now, I wanted to get a head start on this week, and I thought a couple of hours tonight, so let's just get in there and do at least one job on the list of things to do tomorrow. And the good news is from today's phone calls is that the wonderful Jim Barrow have managed to get me not only a brake light switch, but also a proper windscreen washer pump for this car. Dead good. And also, I've been round our Alad's and I've nicked the hazard switch and a couple of relays off his Polo. So yeah, I hope he doesn't break down, because if he does, he's going to get like a lorry stoven into the back of him at like 60 miles an hour, and it'll be my fault. So I thought I'd come down and I'd box off this weird light issue that we're having at the front, where we've got one light that's permanently on and it's very bright and very hot. And I've taken these out with a view to put in one wire from there to there. However, when I've taken these things out, I've thought, right, we're going to have to delve deeper into this, because it is a split side light and fog light. Let me show you. What an absolute mess. Right, just put those out the way, look. So this is what's going on inside, right? So these are both your lenses, which are in excellent nick, and we'll just give them a little clean up before they go back on. Now this is the passenger side light, and look at this. Oh, it's cool. Oh, it's sad. Oh, it's very sad. Oh dear, no wonder it's dim. It's so dim because it's covered in rust. But there is some shiny bits left on that, so we might be able to save it. However, what you will notice is you've got a side light bulb here, and then you've got this big like H2 or H4 or whatever it is, and that is going to be for your fog light. Now this one looks like it's blown, so potentially the fog lights are always on the car, not just this side light. So, because that bulb looks okay, so and that bulb looks blown. So I'm going to play now a little bit of, you know, swappy bulby, checky, switchy, all that sort of thing, because the fog light switch is well in the off position, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to have a little bit of a dig. So bear with me and we'll see where I get up to. Just cleaning things up, and as you can see, whoa, it's the centre of the sun. That is really bright. No wonder it was so hot yesterday. That is this side now, and the fog light is on. So something's going on where we've just got constant fog lights on the front. There's something up sort of electrical wise, because all the switches are off, you know, everything is, I can't do anything else, everything's off, the ignition, the keys out, you know, the whole thing. So you don't need front fog lights for an MOT, we all know that. So I'm just going to take the bulbs out. Now I've taken this one out of this one here, the one that was blown, because that is from that side, and just keep up, come on. Now this one is, yeah, that's dead. So I'm going to get a couple more of these anyway, because I ain't got one in stock. And we will try and repair this at some point. Maybe it's a faulty switch, maybe something else, I don't know. We don't need front fog lights. What we do need though is side lights. So I'm going to put everything back together with a new side light bulb in the other side, and we'll see if the side lights work. Oh joy of joys, we now have un side light, deux side light, which is great news. So I can put all that back together and try and make them both equally as bright so they don't look crap. But annoyingly now the headlights have stopped working again. Cool. I had a load of offcuts of this Dodo mat lying around, so I've just made this like brand new again. So hopefully we'll get some proper shine. Wait, hang on. Have I done something good? Have I fixed something? Do I get a badge? I mean, look at that, they just look smart, you know, clean and silver and both equal. Happy boy. Okay. Right, let's have a go at these hazards, shall we? Right, so let's have a look at the hazard switch. Only joking. This isn't where the hazard switch would be. This is a brake disc and caliper and pads and all that sort of stuff. And it's locked solid. I don't know why, in a weird, like, sort of tempting fate thing, as I was walking past, I thought, I'll just spin the wheel. And I did, and it was locked solid. Oh, why? I thought it was a little bit hard to push the other day. So I need to do something about it. I'm going to try and free it off now with a bit of old pry bar action, coat it in loads of plus gas, and just, not this bit obviously, just these bits, and then yeah, just sort of hope that something happens overnight. And I hope that it's not like a stuck flexi or something, but the flexis look pretty new, so I can't imagine it'd be something like that. Okay, let's go. Lovely. Right, let's try and get one of these things out. Oh, got you. Okay, now you stubborn old mule. Oh. Right. I'm going to tell you what the problem is here. The problem is that brand new pads were put into this car and then it was parked up. So they obviously put new pads in just to pass its MOT, new pads and discs, it looked like sort of 5 years ago. And then they parked it, and a caliper, the piston inside a caliper, it doesn't like being at its two extremes. That is pure weeks of experience that has told me that. If your pads are a little bit, then it's absolutely fine. You never really get a stuck caliper. You tend to get them when the piston's either you've not got many pads left, or you put brand new pads in it, the piston goes all the way back in, and then all of a sudden it doesn't want to come out again and it gets stuck, which this one looks like it is. Look how much meat's on these things. They're just too chunky, man. It's just too chunky, man. Plus gas. Right, try and get as little of this on the brake disc as possible. It's quite a big cavity at the back, which I'm just filling here. Interesting. Don't worry about that. It's fine. That's what brake cleaner was invented for. So I'm just going to lightly press on the brakes now and try and pop this caliper out. And if I can, I'm then going to try and push it back in again. And then I'm going to pop it back out again. And then I'm going to push it back in again. And I'm going to keep doing that until it is feeling free. So you don't have to watch this bit if you don't want, because it's going to be very tedious. And I may swear probably 9-10 times. And YouTube will strike me off. It's looking pretty good. This caliper rewind tool is very effective. One of the good things was that the caliper actually moved. I've had it in the past where the caliper is seized solid and you have to take the whole caliper off, take it over to the bench, smack it repeatedly with a hammer until it decides to play ball. And sometimes it doesn't. And then you've got to buy a new one or do like a refurb, which is got to be very accurate with this here. There you go. Now much better. Potentially problem solved. Time will tell. Now in some weird turn of events, the car, the doors are opening wide enough for me to actually get in while it's on the ramp, which is crazy. So let's just have a quick look at this hazard perception test. How do you get it out though? Is this some kind of sick joke? Interesting. Don't worry about those marks if you can see them, they're just dirt. They'll come out. Right, did you hear a relay go then? The way to test out what relay it is to just feel them, and when it's buzzing you can feel which one's moving. Okay, it was this one. So that's the one off Aled's car. May he rest in peace. Let's see if it goes in there and makes the hazard, just makes it work. Nicht cool. It's just doing the same thing. Right, so let's compare these two thingamajigs. They look identical, which is exactly what I wanted to see. And there's a little resistor there as well, and I'm wondering if that's what's gone and it's overloading the relay, or I don't know, something like that anyway. So let's plug Aled's one in. God rest his soul. Bad drills. Very bad drills. The problem is we've got perfect indicators but no hazard switch, no splash captain. And now we have hazards. can see them there. Come on. Please, please God, because I could go home then. What's the... There's obviously some kind of loose connection, isn't there? We now have hazard lights. I can see in the reflections of various beer bottles lying around that the indicators are working. I'm just going to go for a quick visual though. Okay, nobody touch anything. Okay, so we have hazard lights, but it's not right. It's not right. There is something up with the wire in there. All sorts of things are happening when I do indicators and switch ignition on and off and all sorts of things. So I kind of know we've got the stuff to fix it. I would prefer to be doing this in daylight outside where I can get quick, easy access, because it's a bit of a pain trying to squeeze through there to move it every 2 seconds. So we will reconvene tomorrow. It's day 2, it's daylight, get hyped. It's been cold overnight, shall we see if it starts? Rightio then, let's just slide into the cockpit. Oh, it's a bit of a nightmare in here, isn't it? Will she go? Okay. Things are looking up. Started up really well, you know. How good does that fog light look? You know, with a bit of silver stuff in it. Really good. Right. We've got some stuff to do. Let's get on with it. I don't know if it's just me, but I like to sort of ease myself into the day sometimes. Go for the low-hanging fruit, you know. This is one of those jobs that's now developed into something so much harder than it should have been. Because everything in his mother is blocked. Okay, it's embarrassing how long I was messing about with that, and this is what we've ended up with. The truck has donated its liver and we are using it to pump water onto the windscreen. Lovely. This one's still not great. I'm hoping it comes back to life, but what it needs is all of the pipe work, completely disassembling, cleaning, renewing. I've tried blowing 1,000,000 psi of air down it. It needs new blow. It just needs everything brand new, and I just ain't got time and I ain't got the parts, so it's MacGyvered. We have done a dreamy thing, and that's not going anywhere. It's going to get us home, you know, it's going to get us through an MOT. And then what we'll do is, on a nice, warm, sunny, easy day, is we'll just renew everything. And unfortunately, I am having to use that because I blew the new pump up trying to get water through what was a very stuck, clogged system. So there you go. Things always work out with cars, don't they? It's easy. This is why everybody does it. What's next? If a battery does this, it's not going to pass an MOT, so I'm going to show you a very quick, easy fix for this now. And it clamps onto itself there, and then the battery is now not going anywhere. pass. You know, what do you want to do? Do you want to watch one of these YouTubers that have all the gear, you know, all the tools, all the time in the world, and, you know, they're not in a rush, and, you know, it's not Christmas in a couple of days, and, you know, they can just, you know, put this in the go, oh, I'll take the McLaren, you know. It's not like that. It's real life. It's gritty. This is gritty, real life. What's next? Brake light switch. So this is obviously going to be very straightforward, and it's not going to give me any problems whatsoever, and I'll have it done in 60 seconds. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering about how that brake's doing and whether or not it's locked on, well, so am I. If any midgets or carnival folk want a job, and there might be one going here. All I want from you now is good news. Well, okay, well, I've still got the hazard lights and stuff to do on that side, but because we're sort of finished over here now, I thought I would just get the hoover out and just sort of give it a bit of a tidy up and sort this thing out here, which I don't know what I'm going to do with yet, but it's probably going to involve a tie wrap. Yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it? You know, it's come up okay. That's just going to have to do for now. But yeah, it's perfectly drivable and usable, isn't it? Right, let's get stuck into there. We haven't actually been over there yet, so let's go and see what's happening on the west side. Right then, so what do we know? These are in hand, so we'll pop all those down there. Hazard light switches out there, and we know we've got potentially a little wiring fault there. And then down here we've got all sorts of happenings, and as well we've got no top to this, so that's going to get its head kicked in at some point by someone, isn't it? So we'll have to do something about that. Right, first of all, let's get this stuff out of the way. So what have we got here? We've got Porsche 924 driver's manual. Bloody hell, it's going to be worth £1,000. What about this? Proper service book. Do you reckon that's the original one? Maybe. Some old stuff. MOTs. Pirelli tyre things. Hasn't had Pirellis in about 30 years. Porsche Club. Definitely something I won't be joining. Porsche Club. 924 Turbo. Jealous. Right, okay, so Fenster Haber. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pin. Interesting. I'm going to give that number a Google and see exactly what that's for, but for now it can go there. Look at all these lovely wires here. Okay, right, what's this? This is a Herdach radio. I don't know if that means what we think it means, but it's there. What's this one? China. That is a China. That says hello on it, so it's probably something to do with the lights. Where did it come from? It came from China. There's a few things disconnected. These are really interesting, aren't they? What is this? What could this be? I think that's the stereo. That looks like stereo wiring. That would also explain why the stereo doesn't work, because the wires are just sort of hanging there. So I don't need that at the moment. I don't want to confuse things. So I'm just going to tuck those away behind here. And then we'll have a look at the fuses and stuff in here and see what's going on. Now our survey says that we do have hazards with that switch and with left hand down, but we have hazards. As you can see, there are hazards what flash. So as long as I let Mr. MOT man know that you've got to put left hand down and jiggle the switch, then I think we're all right. However, it's going to need a new switch possibly, or I'm going to have to get a manual for the car, so it'll give me a little wiring diagram so I can tell what wires do what, and I can sort of trace them back and sort of see if we've got any that would cause any issues. How many batteries do you need to consume? Right, what I was saying was we're going to need a new switch. That switch that I nicked off Aled, I just don't think it's perfect either, to be honest. So I'm going to order a new switch. We're going to get a manual. We're going to look at the wiring. And the reason I think it's a new switch that it needs is that when I jiggle the insides of the switch like this, it works. So if it was a wiring fault, it wouldn't really do that. So I think it is switch. Now, for now, we're just going to have a word with the MOT guy and say, look, we've got a switch in the post. We can make the hazards work. If I was stuck on the side of the road, the hazards would work. I can make them work. You've just seen that. So it's safe. It's MOT-able. And yeah, I'm now going to give this side a bit of a clean. And I'm going to give everything a wipe down. And then we're getting dangerously close to taking this thing on the road. The events of the next few hours are going to determine whether or not I drive this thing home for Christmas. It's MOT time. Good start, wasn't it? Would seem I've drained the battery. So the fan belt was a little bit squealy this morning. And I just put that down to it being cold. But obviously the battery down, I thought, you know, I looked at the voltmeter inside and I thought, you know, I should be getting more like 13.5, 14 volts. So I'm just going to check it now and see how many volts we do have, you know. Got to use these like chopsticks here. Yeah. It's charging and it's not dropping volts. Let's just monitor it. To see if it does climb, because it has just been flat, so it's obviously just going to be pumping some stuff in, but I want it to be climbing up. Give it a little tickle. Concerned the alternate might be on its last legs. It's climbing though. Okay, let's just see what happens. Right then, something Christmas, something MOT. Let's go. Okay, so what do we know so far? Well, it seems to be driving okay. One of the sides of the boot has popped open again, which is annoying, which means I've got to have another go at adjusting that. When I went over a big bump, it just went boop. But yeah, we're cruising, you know, it seems all right. Tracking's a little bit out, but not too bad. Just the steering wheel off a touch. Seems to have a bit of, you know, plenty of power. Seems to be running really well, you know, engine wise. Temperature's good. Voltage, I mean, it's showing sort of 13 and rising, so we'll just sort of see what happens there. I don't think a new alternator would hurt though. What else? I mean, that's it really. It's just, you know, it's an old Porsche, isn't it? It's very comfortable, really nice driving position. You know, really sort of nice cockpit. You're sat in it, you know, it's decent, it's good, I like it. But yeah, I'm nervous now. I mean, you just get nervous before an MOT, because there's a few things, obviously, when you see me looking over the car for the MOT, that I don't test, I don't look at, I don't really do anything with, because I've learned over the years that what I think, come back please, what I think is going to pass or fail is not necessarily what the MOT thinks is going to pass or fail. For example, like bearings, so you spin a wheel, make saying, oh, you just don't know. My version of events is potentially very different to the MOT testers. And also bushes, stop moving. A lot of the bushes are sort of, yeah, so many that I've actually done have just been like, yeah, it's kind of okay, but obviously the MOT has a lot more experience than me. They've got all the right pry bars, they know the tolerances, and also they do a million MOTs, so they know the how things should be, and all that sort of stuff. So it's not really any point second guessing stuff. You might as well just send it down and see if it fails and anything. Now we're on Tuesday, Christmas is Sunday. I'm hoping it comes back with a pass today, but if it doesn't, then we're going to have to sort of look at what it's failed on and whether or not I can get it done in time. For example, if it needs all sorts of bottom arms and, you know, anything that, you know, wheel bearings and stuff like that, I'm not going to have time to get the parts, and I'm not going to have time to fit them. My other occupation is calling me. I should be there today, but I'm not. So yeah, it's fingers crossed time, you know, fingers crossed time. Like brand new. Onwards to the MOT. Just found somewhere quiet to pull over. Weirdly, I got lost on the way to the MOT place. I'll have to look out for that in the future. It's not good. A couple of things. The alternator's on its last legs, but you know, I think it's doing enough to keep us running. But the main issue we've got is that brake is locked on, and I spent a while on it last night, you know, moving it, and it is free, but it's just getting stuck because it's right at the extremities. I mean, I wish I had a set of old brake pads, you know, that had sort of half the wear on them, or I could take that amount of meat off of those brake pads. It's difficult really, because yeah, it's just like that, and it's gonna fail. If that's binding like that, it's gonna fail, and I've got no time to get a caliper or get a rebuild kit and fit it. Anyway, I think the best course of action is to drop it off at the MOT place. Let that brake sort of cool down overnight and see if they can test it for me in the morning. Everything else seems brilliant. It seems to be working really well. You know, it's a nice thing. Bit of a shame about this caliper. But yeah, I'm going to take it there now and have a chat with them and see what they say. See if they can do it for me in the morning. Red hot, that. There's also a little bit of black stuff coming out there, and I think that's all the dirt and the oil and stuff that I was putting in there yesterday, I hope. But what's interesting is how stuck is it, right? So usually with a stuck brake caliper you're pretty buggered, right? But look, if I pull it back, I'm over here, and it, you know, it's just rolling sort of fairly freely. I don't know. See what the MOT man says. So, a couple of things. Got to the MOT place, and to be honest, I was a bit late. Left it a bit late. Did as much as I could this morning, and it just pushed me over. So I'm unable to test me. All the slots for the day gone, like, so they can't do a test on the car. Now, I couldn't leave it there until tomorrow because the place was packed, rammed, and I can't get there tomorrow to bring it in. So the earliest I can now take it for an MOT is Thursday, which is 3 days before Christmas, or 2 days before Christmas. So I put it back, and I thought we'll just get it up in the air and we'll have a bit of a tighten of that alternator belt, see if we can stop it squealing. At least that's something, and you know, should help. And we'll have a little inspect of that wheel again, but it seems to be free. Weird. So let's have a look. I mean, if anything, that's now 2 free. But weird, that, isn't it? All that stuff that you saw spraying out the wheel, all leaking out, all the black stuff, it's all the grease from inside here. So I thought while I was in there, I'd just pop that off, put a nice nubbin of grease in there, and just squish it back on. And then squish it back on even harder with one of these. So yeah, I mean, we'll just sort of see what happens with that. Nice. And what I'm especially nice to see, happy to see, is how sort of dry everything is. No massive sort of oil leaks, nothing gushing out, no water or anything like that, which is fantastic. And as you can see, we've got a little bit of adjustment left in this machine. So I'm just gonna do these 2 nuts, pull it out a tiny bit, and then tighten the nuts back up, and fingers crossed that'll stop it squealing and hopefully give us a few more miles out of that alternator before I've got to get it rebuilt or get a new one. Okay. not bad. It's a cold morning to be walking. Just been dropped for its MOT. Exciting times. Will it pass? We don't know. Time will tell. And if you just go and make yourself a cup of tea, by the time you get back, you'll know. We've made it. Look how far we've come now, baby. It would seem she's passed her MOT. Come on! Oh, hands on the wheel. What a result, eh? Flew through with an advisory for the sticky brake, which you'll be pleased to know I've done a few miles since and it's cleared up. It's no longer binding, which is great. So yeah, we're on the A55 heading home for Christmas in the 924. I couldn't be happier. And it is driving like a dream, man. We're doing some, you know, decent miles per hour in the outside lane, and it's just overtaking everything, just flying down, just beautiful. Feels very solid on the road. I like it a lot. And because I like it a lot, I have decided I'm going to hold on to this car for a bit. This is going to be a mainstay of the workshop, I think, which is exciting. And you're going to see a lot more videos on it. There's a few things that need work. You've got the sunroof, which is kind of always open. It feels a little bit squirrely down on the road. It doesn't feel like 100% perfect. So I want to take it to a mate of mine in a garage called Tuned in Wrexham, and he did the four-wheel alignment on my Amiga that I had, and the Amigas are notoriously difficult to align properly because the bottom arms are made of cheese, so they just never take to it. But he's got all the gear there, the gear I wish I had, you know, tens of thousands of pounds worth of laser alignment equipment, which would be amazing to own. You know, that's garage goals for me, because tracking and wheel alignment is it's a stickler. I like a car with perfect alignment if I'm going to enjoy it, you know. And potentially, if I'm going to take it to the Nürburgring, which could be a video in this car in the spring, which would be super exciting. I would like that a lot. So yeah, what else can I tell you? We've still got a few electric gremlins to sort out. You know, there's still a few bits to box off. We've got, you know, just odds and ends really, nothing too crazy. A couple of interior bits that I might ask Ben if he'll retrim from Ben's trim shop, steering wheel, gear stick, gear gator, that sort of thing. And yeah, well, you know, just sort of go through it slowly, you know, little jobs at a time, and just get it to where it's perfect, you know, and that'll be good. But engine wise, gearbox wise, clutch wise, brakes wise, everything all superb. One thing I might do if I do end up taking it to the Nürburgring is having a look for a bigger brake upgrade, you know, something that's a bit more meaty, that we can stick on the front, maybe from a 944 or even a 928, something like that, if they'll fit. But yeah, we'll have a little look into that. If you're a Porsche fanatic and you know what would fit on the front of this, let me know, and I'll look into it, you know. But yeah, the alternator seems to be holding up beautifully. I've got my lights on, my wipers on, and we're showing over 13 volts. That's cool as. All my gauges are working. The cold start issue seems to have gone. It's just starting fine now. I think that was just a mix of bad fuel and, you know, all that type of business. But yeah, great, absolutely buzzing. So we're going to get back to the families now, and then we'll have a little look at the outside of the car, and yeah, see what you think. Classic Welsh weather, so I'll keep this brief. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this little mini series, mini resurrection on this incredibly beautiful Porsche 924. And it's been a great sort of ending to the year, I think. And yeah, I'll be back soon with some videos. One video next on a little recap of 2022 and sort of answering some of your questions and comments and things, and also what's going to come up in 2023, what I've got planned for that. So if you've got anything else you want to know, or any questions or anything, just put them in the comments, and I'll get around to viewing those as well. But I hope your Christmas Day, Boxing Day, everything goes incredibly well. And yeah, really thanks for watching. I'm going to go and do some family stuff now, do some presents and some food. Great, see you next time.